Kliewer. You can blame my husband for that one. Okay. Kliewer. It's a good German Russian name. Kliewer, right? Yeah. First name is Suzanne, and I've been building my Mary Kay business for 18 years. I came in 2001, so it'll be 19 this summer. And that's how I always know when Mary Kay passed away, because she passed away on Thanksgiving of that year. So I never got to meet her either. Yes. So Angie and Krista, did you both see her at seminar? Yes. Okay. You've been in long enough. Yeah.
Were you trained by her, Angie? Like at the DIT
Were you?
class?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy.
I was.
Cindy, yes. Cindy, of course. Absolutely. Anybody else ever?
I got to go behind her desk in her office.
Yeah, I know.
13th floor.
I did too. I got that part, right?
That's the part
Got to
I
sit
got
there. Me
to
too.
touch Mary Kay.
Me too. Yeah, when you tour the offices, you can do that, and do director training, you get to do that. But so, what's amazing about this business is that it's family owned, right? And it perpetuates. You are Mary Kay to most people you meet. Most people you meet are not going to come to one of these things. They're so silly. They don't know what they're missing out. But you are the representation. So I believe that we, as the sales force, are the PR for Mary Kay. So what do people, this is not even what I was going to talk about, but what do people out there perceive Mary Kay to look like? Yeah, you're right. But think about, what do you want them to know about Mary Kay? If you had 10 minutes with somebody, and I'm not talking about like, these are all the facts really fast, right? How do you want them to feel? Because a lot of times it's not what we say, it's how we make them feel. And that's what they're going to associate with our company. So like it or not, you're in the top 6 to 9%. I know you love that, right? But you are the representation of our company. You're a big representation. Because you're out there working your business, or you wouldn't be in this room. So I love what Angie talked about with the mindset. That's huge. That's probably like biggest thing, right? That's all it should be. Like that is big. Mindset. Krista talked about mindset a lot too, and belief in owning your story, owning where you are, being proud of the position you're in. Because the people that aren't in the red jackets, when you are at an event or at your meeting, where do they want to be? Because they can see as far as the next step. Some people have big visions. I have a very big vision and I can see a long ways, but I know that it takes steps. It doesn't mean you have to hang out on the step for that long if you don't want to. You can run up the stairs, right? But we have to hit all the steps. And Mary Kay, the business is created that way. When Mary Kay started this business, she knew that people couldn't buy their way to the top. They could not buy their way to directorship. And if they did, they couldn't stay there, right? So that is the beauty about our business. By helping other women, they benefit their own businesses and they benefit your business and then you benefit them, and it just keeps going around. It's a really beautiful cycle. So you are in the right place at the right time. You're sitting here on, January 4th, 2020. It's just hard for me to say almost, 2020. But at the right place, at the right time, in this room, for a reason. So just know that. And I want you to own your own worth and believe that you are who God says you are. You are created in His image, and you are not the scoreboard. I had to learn that because I love competition. I love to do well. I love to win. Who loves to win, right? Right? Who loves to have fun, right? We all do, right? Winning, having fun. But I had to learn that it doesn't matter where I am on the scoreboard, what position I am in, what car I've driven. I've driven every car there is to drive in Mary Kay, every level. Every level. I'm just thankful. I am very thankful for a car to drive, right? I don't care what it is. I mean, I want to pick Cadillac, don't get me wrong, like that's winning, right? But I'm grateful for every level. And it doesn't mean that I'm a bad director if I'm driving one car and not the other. It doesn't mean that you are a bad consultant if you are not in a car or if you are not where you want to be. Your worth is determined by Him. not by if you did $1,000 in production last month. So we all got that? Are we clear?
Yes.
You know who you are? You're so powerful. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps thinking about it. So I want you to get very crystal clear, and I was gonna say this year, but I'm like today, on your value. Because to me, I see all amazing, awesome, powerful women that are sitting in this room right now. I have no idea, except for a few of you, what your production's been like, how many people are on your team, you know, how long you've been in your red jacket, how short of a time you've been in your red jacket, what cars you've driven, what your goals are. Doesn't matter to me, because I know your value. And your value is priceless. So just start to believe that. If you don't already believe that, I had to really, in my Mary Kay journey, come to grips with that. Because I got into Mary Kay not when I was in my 20s. I was a young professional. I was out of graduate school. My background's in speech language pathology, and I was in the medical field. And that's why I know about, you know, you expel about 30% more water when you're talking, so you do need your water with you, right? So I was a manager for a large rehab company because I was moving up, because I was already maxed out after 5 years of being out of grad school. I was maxed out on my pay scale. I was like, well, the only way to do that is to become a manager, right? So I was doing that when Mary Kay found me. So I needed to do that first to build my confidence. So when I walked into Mary Kay, I was pretty confident, but I wasn't clear on, my value. It doesn't matter if I'm a brand new one-day consultant or if I'm a national sales director, it's the same. And so I was tying my worth and my belief in myself to my achievements. Has anybody ever done that? I mean, it's, and Mary Kay, it's, you know, in any company, it's easy to do that. And Mary Kay, there's so many goals to go for that we can do that. So I don't want you to get confused with that. I want your goals to be your goals and not your neighbor's goals. I had to learn that too. Because I used to tell people goals like, oh, I want to do Queen's Court of recruiting. That wasn't my goal, really. But I said that because it sounded really good. Has anybody ever done that? All right, okay. All right, so I want you to be very clear on what goals God has put in your heart, because your journey is different than mine, okay? So I've got a worksheet that we're all going to jump into. I don't really know what my speech is titled or my class is titled, but I'm going to title it Focus, okay? So that's going to be what it is. I just made it up. So anyway, and I know, here's the thing. I could give you numbers, do this many faces, because strategy is one of my top 5 strengths, and I'm good at strategy. I can plan, like you tell me what you want, I can plan it out for you. Now, it doesn't mean that I or you will do the plan, but I've got a really good plan all the time. Okay? So I can do that. So I mean, and I can be super focused. I do have a lot of IME, but focus. I think it was, you know, going to school and all that. That really taught me a ton of focus. I like to focus in on things. However, if I don't follow my plan, I'm not going to get what I want. And then a lot of times our plan changes. You got to learn to be flexible too, right? Because God has other plans. We can create a plan, or we can say, man, it's going to take me talking to 5 people to get 1 new recruit. Well, when I was a brand new consultant, Amy, my director, Amy Kittrell, would come to, I lived in St. Louis at the time, so I was adopted, so yay for the adoptee program in Mary Kay. When I was adopted in, but I signed up because she was earning a trip to Scotland. It was that year. Golly, I think I need to go to Scotland this year, right? Because I always tell her I earned her the trip to Scotland, because my order was exactly what they needed to hit the Scotland trip at the end.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I came in on the 27th of June. I made you go to Scotland, right? Yeah. But anyway, we joke about it all the time. But that was one of the reasons why I came in. So have a big goal, because people come in when you tell them their goals, and they do things to help you out. So anyway, where was I on the focus part of that? I lost my train of thought now. But you know, really do have that goal. Tell other people about it. And with Amy, I think the thing was she always dreamt so big, and she pulled everybody else into that dream, which is she does that, doesn't she? Really, I know, she loves to do that. But so I really didn't see the big picture of Mary Kay right away. I know what I was talking about. It was the numbers. months, I'm not kidding. It was like right around 30 and recruited nobody at the very beginning. And he's like, really, I'm good at this, Suzanne. Like, you know, I know you are. It's all good. You know, when we started to recruit people, when they started to come in, when I got serious and I had a goal. So it was after career conference of that year. I was kind of one of those consultants. I went to everything, went to absolutely everything. Somebody else mentioned that. Used those events, but went to everything because I wanted to scope it out, see what was a company I wanted to be involved in. I remember going to the career conference. I had signed up in the end of June, going to career conference that next year, and I'd been to everything else. And I was like, I was so tired of not being in the red jacket class. I was like, this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. You know, like, do you ever get that way?
Yeah.
I want to be in that room with the directors right now, right? I mean, so you think about those kind of things. And I told Amy that, and she's like, okay, great. And I went home and got back to work and didn't do anything with my Mary Kay business. I think I recruited one person on accident. So going into June, because I actually was a star consultant, so I did work my business. Going into June, Amy calls me and says, Suzanne, we need 5 teams to do 10,000 each or something like that. And will you be one of the teams? I had one active person. Big goals. I was like, yeah, sure. You're my friend. I hung the phone. I was like, Brian, that's my husband. How much do we have available on our credit card? Because I just committed to $10,000. I was like, no, I'm just kidding. He's like, get to work. So that was the month that I ended up going into DIQ. It was in June. I had one active at the very beginning. And I still had one active on the 22nd of that month. I recruited a couple people, but ended up, it's like, I've got to do this. I told Amy I was going to do it, you know, got to do it. But that's when I started calling all those 30 people that had said, they really hadn't said no. I just didn't follow up with them well. When I had a focus and I had passion and a dream, bam, 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 bam. Recruited like 8 people that month. I think I had a total of 10. We needed 8 on our team to go into DIQ, and we ended with 30. It was a little bit different qualifications than it is right now. I think now it's 10 and 24. So that's the difference, ladies. I was doing the numbers. I didn't have the belief or the focus or the, you know, like that thing, that spark. That will get you that spark. All right. So I can tell you those numbers, but go to your director, ask her for a plan. It's not about the plan. How many plans have we ever had, right? It's here and here. Head, heart, connection. Make it with those people. Get passionate. So in order to start our January, I've got some things for you. Just take one and pass it on. And we're gonna go through these questions. So I was gonna do all numbers with you, and I'm like, nope, we're not doing numbers. I think there might be enough to go back. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
There you go. Did everybody get one? Yeah. Okay, so the directors were on a call. I think Krista, I think you might have mentioned it last night with Diana Polanco. Stacy James is our national, and she had Diana Polanco on our director's call. We do a director's call every Monday morning. And the reason why Stacy does it is not really to give us, you know, this is how you do a skincare class, or Stacy's all about head, mindset. And that has served me so well in my life, not just Mary Kay. Praise God for the mindset, right? Be a completely different person. So Diana Polanco is a national sales director. She immigrated from Cuba, didn't speak English, and taught herself English. She was an attorney when she immigrated, lost all that. Can you imagine? Like, just her story is incredible. She did end up, she was in the United States for a few years and then then signed her agreement, became a national less than 3 years after she signed her agreement. She's got an incredible story. And as a director, was a total rock star as a director. She's just talk about focus, okay? So she gave us some of these questions, that stop, start, enhance, and continue. And then I just wrote questions underneath. So I'm gonna train you on this. This has helped me so much. I started doing this the end of last year, going into this new year, thinking about things. I think these questions ask yourself daily if you wanted to. Certainly weekly, absolutely monthly, and then quarterly as well. So often we do something like this and then we put it away, right? We don't go back to it. That has been my problem in the past, but I'm gonna have this right in front of you. So ask me the questions, because what happens to your brain when you ask a question? Did you just answer it?
Yeah.
Yes. If you could say a statement, Delaney, go do this, even if you're talking to yourself, right? Your brain is not engaged as much. But if you say, what are the benefits of going to do blah, 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 you start telling yourself those benefits. So that's why when we're up in front of it, this is good training for up in front of a skincare class, when you are talking to women about the opportunity. Don't just do blanket statements, start asking them questions. How would Mary Kay benefit your life? What areas do you see that would be, that would be great for your family? Those questions. Ask questions instead of say statements, because people start to defend statements or they start to negate the statement or whatever. But your brain is programmed so that it has to answer a question, or at least think about it. All right, so these questions. Stop. What do I need to stop doing? And then I put, what do I need to stop thinking? Right? So anybody want to just like jump out? It doesn't have to be anything personal, but what is something maybe you need to stop doing or stop thinking? Somebody. Yes.
Procrastinating.
I know, right? What's your first name? Here's
Lisa.
Lisa. Okay. Procrastinating, right? And so then the great thing is you do a brain dump on these, and then you start to think, well, when do I procrastinate? Then you can kind of take them apart a little bit after that. Okay, so procrastinating. What's another one? What do you need to stop doing or thinking? Yes.
Changing my plan. I have my schedule set, don't let things interfere and go off track.
So being serious about your business and what you actually planned out, right? That is such key in our business, because other people will treat our businesses as seriously as we treat it, right? And if they're like, oh, but you have to, I need you to do this and this and this, and then you drop it, and it's so true. I'm with you. I get it, because we're givers and we want to help people, and so they call us, and but it's not the plan. You're like, no, I gotta work. We can still be very kind about it, but we can't say no. And we practice it. No. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Delaney.
Well, just off of what Mandy said, Stacy did her live on New Year's Day, I think it was, and she said, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities.
Don't prioritize your
Did I say that
schedule,
backwards?
schedule your priorities.
Yeah.
Yes. I just want to repeat it so everybody heard it. It's so good. Schedule your priorities. So if you have this is a great tip that I learned. If you have a 6 most important things list to do, a lot of times we have that, you need to schedule it or it won't get done. So I write it, I think about what I need to do, and then I write it at times. There are certain times in my schedule, and I put those in there. So let's make 10 booking calls. If it's just sitting up there in the cloud of my 6 most important things list to do, and I don't have it on a time, then people are gonna call, and things are gonna happen, and then all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock, like, when am I gonna get this in? But if I have it at 10 o'clock in the morning, or whenever it is, that's on your schedule, I do it. Makes a difference. That's your little tip for what to do today. All right, yes.
Suzanne, when you do your example book,
Yes.
your 10 people, or book 10 or whatever, do you then make a list of, because then you can get there sometimes, you're like, okay, where do I go? Do you start with lists of, okay, these are people that I need to call? Do you
Yes.
get a list going?
I do. I do.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because, that's like the people are our priority, so that's always in the priority prime time list. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Okay, so anybody else? Anything you need to stop thinking?
I just, to stop overthinking and obsessing, like even saying that, like, what's your 6 most important things? It's like, okay, is that my business, or is that my personal? And then I go like this, and then I don't do it, and it's like, that's just dumb, like.
Focus.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
That is
Okay.
exactly what I need,
So, like for you, Amelia, then you probably need to even, and I know that when you're high I, it's hard to like the structure, but you need that structure,
Yes.
right? So you probably need a 6 most important things to-do list for your family.
Yes.
one for your Mary Kay business, you know, and then one for your health or whatever it might be. Whatever you need, right? Yes.
Morning routine,
Morning
just having that same
routine.
thing every morning.
Exactly, so it becomes a habit.
And then,
When you bookend your days, then everything else is so much better. So bookend, I mean like starting with your miracle morning,
right.
and then maybe ending with gratitude journal or whatever it is that you need to end with. Man, that really, then you can control those things, because
Right.
everything else in between, control, right? During your day, yeah, okay, that's great. Anybody else stop thinking or, yeah?
Stop prejudging.
Prejudging, like when you're talking to people.
Yeah,
that
I've already figured out, oh, she's not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you out already, see you later.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, do we?
No,
It's
no.
amazing, yeah. Okay, these are great. So this is, I just wanted to do a couple so you could get what we're thinking about. Okay, and then on the start, what do I need to start doing? And I put thinking in all of these, or thinking now that I have been resisting.
I'll
Yes.
share. Just get to where I need to go on time.
Okay,
Be more time efficient and
great.
watch my time better, because it takes me forever to get out of my house.
Okay.
Now that I'm by myself and I
Okay.
don't have that help to.
And
to
that's a
try to-
mindset.
Yes.
Yes, and it starts with I will be on time for everything I go to. You know, it's just those positive affirmations. That could be in the affirmation of the miracle morning, right? That's a good one. Yes. Haley.
Just get into action. I keep thinking and like I have these ideas and trying to think of
Uh-huh.
plans, and I'm not just jumping into action. So
Right.
Just like start acting.
Yeah. Yeah, just act.
Push the pedal.
Exactly. Oh man, we have a bunch of thinkers and contemplators in
Yeah.
here. I think we got a few. Okay. Stop thinking. No, just kidding. Because I love to mull over ideas and all that. Like I totally get that. But I won't get any results from my business unless I do it. Or I won't know if it's a good idea until I do it. So be willing to fail. I think a lot of times we don't get into action because either we have some perfectionism, or we're afraid to fail, or we wonder what somebody will think about it, or it might not be the right idea. So no, you gotta just get rid of that comparison and just realize it's like, ask yourself the question, well, how could I benefit if I actually took the first step? How would I benefit if I just sat here and thought about it? So if you can't get into action, ask yourself a question. What's next? Okay? These are good. These are really good. Okay. We'll go on to enhance. So let's say you're average at an area. Where can you go from average to excellent? Maybe you feel like, oh, I'm average at my marketing plan, or I'm average at the close. Because when you're in the red jacket, you're serious about your business, right? You're either going to do this, like Krista said, for a great part-time income, or you're working your way up to leadership to become a director. And as a director, you don't need to be an expert at everything, but you do need to be good enough at things to teach them. And then maybe someone in your unit will become an expert at them, and then they can teach them as well. So you have to be able to transfer some of those skills. Or you have to, as a director, know your shortcomings and say, go to this person for that. And recognize that in yourself. But where is it that you would love to be excellent, that you feel like you're average at right now? So does anybody want to, be vulnerable?
Closing.
Closing, yes. Because closing is not a natural skill.
I get nervous.
Yes, yes. Okay, so closing a marketing plan or closing a skincare class? Sales. One of the best tips I ever learned was from Cindy Williams. And she said that when she first started, she wasn't great at the close either. Can you believe that? Like Cindy Williams, right? And so she said to herself, my favorite part of my skincare class is telling you how you can go home with the products. I started saying that at every single one of my appointments. I love this part of my party. This is my favorite part because I get to tell you how you can go home with these amazing products. You know what? I started loving my clothes, and my sales jumped through the roof.
Say that one more time.
It's just, this is my favorite part of my skincare class, or my party. Now it's party. Favorite part of my party. I get to tell you how you get to go home with the products. Aren't you excited? Ah! And they are, because they love the products. So whatever it is that you need to say to get you to love that, because if you say it out loud, Haley, right, you're going to start to believe it. So now I do love that part. I love the clothes. we have great products, and I want them all in people's bathrooms at home, right? And in their travel bags, and in their purses, and yeah, so start to say those things out loud that maybe you don't really love to do. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, what's another one? Closing. That's a big one, and that is a skill that we do have to practice. That's just, and then also I would say with closing, have a great closing sheet that you love. If you're not whether it's a placemat from the company or whether it's something else, have a great one that you absolutely love, that you are in love with, and it doesn't matter which one I use or Angie uses or Krista uses. You have to love it. And I would say the simpler, the better, because market research has shown that if you give people like 3 options or even 4, that's about it, then they're not
pick the one in
confused.
the middle.
If you give them a lookbook, that is the
Yes.
your sales, right? Like that, and they're not going to go home with what they need. Women love to buy in sets, and they love a choice, and usually they'll choose in the middle-ish. So you have a crazy one, and then you have a low one, and then you've got that great one that's the basics in the middle. You know, I would say a lot of times I sell that one. Although I do sell the big ones because I love products. Why wouldn't they? Yeah, and they feel good on their skin. Okay, so yeah, so those are my 2 tips on that. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the next one. Continue. What do I do that is great that I need to keep doing? Because you're here in this room, you must be doing something great. You need to like pump yourself up, okay? What are you doing great? You really don't need to change a lot of, but you just need to keep doing. That's really our business. You all are really great at a lot of things. You just need to keep doing it and do more of it. And then we'll come, right? And it's not that you have to work Mary Kay 24/7. Most of you have full-time jobs. I had a full-time job all the way up until I became a director, and then 3 months after I became a director, that's when I quit my full-time job. So you can do DIQ, and you can become a very successful consultant, work in another job. It's okay. Just decide when you make your plan that you're going to work your Mary Kay during the time you're going to work it. So is there something that you know you're great at that you need to keep doing? Anybody? Yes, Laura.
Creating loyalty. So, like, it's kind of shocking to me, but Whitney reminds me of this all the time, that when I became a Red Jacket, those people are still on my team 4 years later.
It's awesome.
Like, I think right now I have 5, and they've been on, like, they're very loyal. And I love them well, and so I think just helping them feel loved is something that I'm passionate about, therefore I feel like I'm good at.
We all want to be on her team. Yeah. So you know why? It's because you connect with people and you love them. Absolutely. You make them they have a place where they feel safe. Yes. And a place where they can flourish too. So that's a great one. I love that. Creating loyalty. Keep doing it. Right? Yeah. Okay. What else? Anyone else? Something? Yes.
Continuing to give the customers great customer service and not just building your team.
Perfect. That's so good. Because we are the PR for Mary Kay, right? We're representing. So if that's your signature, then customer service. And if you're finding you're getting super busy with a lot of other things, then hire an assistant, trade a teenager for hours for doing the things that maybe whatever it is that you don't need to do, so you can be in front of the people and you can be the one delivering, looking all slamming, or whatever it is that you do for your customer service. Maybe it's follow-up calls or texts or something that they know you're thinking about them. There's some things that you can hire for that too, or trade product work. Teenage girls will trade product for things. Yes.
Yeah,
5 minutes. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So anybody else want to, yes.
Voice to voice phone calls instead of just
You're so good. Voice-to-voice phone calls. Let's give her a big round of applause. So what made you decide that you love that or that you're good at that?
because I've gotten better responses lately from that versus texting. I can send out thousands of texts and get 5 responses. I can pick up the phone and call 10 people and
Isn't that amazing? Yes, the response rate. I think texting, has its place for some things, but when you call, they get to know you better. They can hear your voice, and then you don't have to play texting tag for a week. Oh yeah, I forgot about it, or whatever. My dog interrupted me, or whatever it is. Yeah, so true. Okay, So do you like this?
Yeah.
Isn't this, I love this, so I would just challenge you to go home and make a bunch of copies.
Yes.
You know, do this frequently, okay? And then I do have a couple other, I know I've only got like 5 minutes, so, we have to be, I'm supposed to be done right around noon, and then we've got 15 minutes to gather back over there, so you can ask me questions and stuff. I do have a couple other sheets, and I've got the copies, I can give them to you if you want them, but, you can tell me what you want. This one, I'm just gonna ask the question, who in this room, like, has an inkling or a thought, or maybe a burning desire to move up to the next level and be a director? Okay, there's a lot. I think that was almost all of you. Okay, so, I love this sheet. It does come from Girl Boss Graphics, but she created it, but you've seen it in other forms, and it's Why Do We Love Leadership? And it shows if money motivates you or numbers, it shows the difference between being a consultant and a director if you recruited 5 people. And so I'll pass this out because it is kind of a fun thing to look at. Now, your director, this is if, it says for the same amount of activity. So your director recruiting 5, you recruiting 5, and then the difference in pay because of unit bonuses and stuff is really big. So consultants, 1,348, and directors, 4,594. So, but just remember that that's not the total director's pay because we have a unit that we're responsible for as well. So we'll have other bonuses. So if money motivates you, there's times when money really motivates me, and then there's other times when it doesn't. I mean, yes, I need it to buy myself shoes because I love shoes, but you know what I mean? But people motivate me more.
Right.
But when you see this in black and white like this, it's like, oh God, what am I doing, right? So I'll pass that one out. I get that one. And then I've got, nobody said marketing plans. Does everybody feel like they're an expert on marketing plans?
No.
No.
I was gonna say that I love, like, I'm not an expert by any means, but I love talking about Mary Kay as a company.
Okay.
I like feel like I can be brought to tears just talking about
Sure.
what it means to me and the legacy of the
Right.
company. So much. I feel like but I've got to learn how to not talk so much.
Okay.
But I absolutely love talking about it over and over again. You know, like just the company. So
Okay, so I do have a couple sheets on marketing plans.
Yeah.
Because I do think, yes, you're gonna do a lot of them with your directors as well, but man, we don't want you to be in front of someone, they're interested, wait a minute, I have to
Yes.
see if my director can join us in 2 days. They're gonna lose their passion, so we want you to feel really good about it. So I do have sheets. One of them, this is a great one, and we were talking about this at our unit meeting, Gail, and it's similar to, you've seen these, they're like survey questions, but this is a great way. A lot of times I will give something like this to new consultants and say, I know you're gonna be doing one-on-one makeovers, you're not gonna bring everybody in front of me. This is good for everybody else too, and just say, I get credit for my makeover if you fill this out. And this has information about the business, or she could even read it and say, do you have an extra 10 minutes? I wanna tell you a few facts about the business, go through them, and then you write this out, and then you can give her an eyeshadow for doing it or whatever. And then we kind of find out, we don't have to prejudge because of the scale, right? And kind of where they're interested. You know, Gail had somebody sign up, she did a survey with them at their makeover, and they chose the highest number. She's like, really? Wow, you know, because some people just aren't that, they just don't show it that much. So I have this one, I just pulled this one out, it's a good one. Use it or don't use it, but it's just a great tool. And so if you're nervous about, especially one-on-one with people, sometimes like, how do I bring up business now? You know, if you haven't been talking about it a little while. But it's just that it's one little tool. And this is my leadership career chat questions that I go through when I do an interview. And I don't do every single one because I've had to learn. My job is to ask questions. Is not to tell them everything. And to listen. Because when I ask them, let's see, if we had only 10 minutes together and I could tell you anything about the Mary Kay opportunity, what would you want me to know? That's where I'm going. Right there. And then if we only have 10 minutes together, I probably answered her question. And she can learn everything else at something else. I want to tell them everything too.
Yeah, I
because
know.
I love it. But we do have to learn just to zip.
Yep.
And it is hard Like if you go, okay, so I would recommend after you're doing a few with your director, having you do one and have your director sit there. And if you can tell her, if I'm talking too much, kick me under the table.
Yeah, there you go.
And they will, not hard, but we'll be like, stop. Yeah, she needs to talk, right? Because we can talk people in or out of something, or we can lose them.
Yeah.
Especially if they could give, they don't care about the money, but they want their girlfriends. Why would we even mention it? They don't really see the need for girlfriends right now, but they really want to hear about the money. We have to, we have to do that. So I will, do you guys want these sheets?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, all right. Okay, so I'll pass them out and you can ask me questions. About
Or
anything.
affirm her, tell her what you love